Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rumcast. This is the podcast that talks all things rum-related with the people who love and shape it. Today, it's going to be a little bit of a different format of an episode for us, but nonetheless a very exciting one because, Will, it's finally time for us to get a long-awaited payoff on something that we've been kind of teasing a little bit for a while now, and it's finally here. We're going to get to taste through some very special, I guess we would say, mystery rums right now.
Yeah, this is the main rum mystery box extravaganza. And I feel like maybe we've mentioned this once or twice on the podcast, but I know we've definitely mentioned it in Patreon happy hours, probably to the point where our Patreon subscribers are like, okay, this thing's never going to happen. But
it's been dragging.
This is probably the longest awaited episode just between you and I. I think it's just been internal anticipation for being able to do this. And to quickly sum up what happened, listeners will know we did our Rumcast Reserve project last year, purchasing our first single casks from Main Rum Company in Liverpool. We went over there, we documented it on the show. There's still a very small amount of bottles left, by the way. So if you want to grab some Reserve, Rumcast Reserve, or if you still haven't tried it, you can do
some blending with them.
Yeah, there's a link in the show notes. Those two country blends, John, they you were just talking them up, but basically, you know, after we did all this, we bought the casks and we're going through the work and everything, we discovered that there had been like a small administrative error that had resulted in us overpaying a little bit.
That sounds like a Monopoly card, like you pull small administrative error in your favor.
Pay $400. Yeah. It was something to the tune of like $400, and we reached out to Main Rum, and you know they were super responsive and cool about it. They were like, "Oh yeah, like you're totally right. We'd be happy to pay you guys back the $400, or." Andy Seach at Main
Door
Rum
number
at the time,
2.
Exactly. He said, or I have an alternative plan. I could send you each 7 100 milliliter samples of some old and rare casks free of charge. The value of these would exceed the overpaid amount.
Feels like a no-brainer, right?
He said 7 in the email, but there's 6 here, so
There's
maybe
only
we'll
6.
have to go back and. No, I'm sure it's we're
7th one is
with 6.
It's on its way still. It's just it's still being made, is what it is. Yeah.
So that was back in November of 2025, John. It was right around Thanksgiving, and basically your package ended up arriving, I think, sometime in January. Mine got stuck in some kind of loop with customs for some reason, and there was just like a long back and forth. Maine was trying to help us, get it. Customs ended up sending it back to Liverpool, and we thought for a while we may have to import each of the samples and work with a partner to allow us to do that because we're not importers. And it was this whole thing, and I think you and I kind of lost a little bit of hope for a while that you were just going to forever have the 6 samples but not be able to taste them because I didn't have mine yet. And then finally we got it sorted out. The folks at E&A Shear helped step in. Joris gave us an assist and managed to get my box to me. So we have these 6 rums, and all we've been told about these, John, you may have heard it in that sample of the email I just read, but they were described as old and rare casks. So I was looking at that again today, and I was like, does that mean each cask is old and rare, or are there some
that are old, some that are rare?
I'm not sure. So...
Well, Will, I have to tell you, because you mentioned how long I've had this box at this point, and I have to first say, I have been very disciplined. I have not opened any of the... I did open the box to look in it when I got it, and looked at them and was like, okay, I shut it. I didn't do my usual, let me take off the cap and take a little swig. I purposefully avoided opening up any of these, and it sat in a corner of my house for that period of time. And when I finally grabbed it today to do this, I blew the dust off it like Indiana Jones style, right? Opened it up, and it's been there waiting for me ever since. So like you said, I'm really excited to finally be able to dig into these and see what they are with you.
And we can show people kind of what, these are what the sample bottles look like if you're watching on YouTube or video. They just have the main rum logo at the top. There's a number on them, 1 through 6, and then there's an ABV. And so that's all we have to go off of, the color and the ABV and the nose and the palate. And Joris from Ian A. Shear did work with Ian over at Main Rum Company to hunt down the identities of these casks, and Joris put together an answer sheet for us. I've got the first page, which I don't know if you've looked at it yet.
No, you should have seen, we have a shared email box. I did not click on that message.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen really quick just so you can see what this first page looks like.
The amount of tabs you have
is
hilarious.
This is nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is the first page.
The
it just
mystery
says,
box. What's in the box? I'm sorry, I went ahead of you, but that's hilarious. Go ahead, read it out.
Classic quote from Seven. So it says, the mystery box. Before we start unraveling what is in the box, there are some points to consider. What's in the box? Brad Pitt, 7.
What's in the box?
Schrodinger's box dilemma. Until you open the box, the rum is both good and bad.
That's great.
And then lastly, life is like a mystery box of rum. You never know what you're going to get. A quote attributed to Jurist Lump.
His mom always said
exactly
that. Yep.
That's exactly what my mom told me. It says, you promised to not peek, so I will take your word for it. Nevertheless, you both have been patient long enough to do whatever you like. So without too much further ado, I will dive into it on the next page. So we're going to leave it there.
Hold it there, yeah.
We're going to hold it there for now, John.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
That was great, by the way, George. That was pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, I think he understands the sense of humor of this, of this show. So... we were just talking about the best order to do these in, and we kind of
because they're all different ABVs, right? So you've got a range here. Go ahead.
We don't know the flavor profile, but we do know the ABVs, right. and as you just said, it's not like they're all right around upper 50s, low 60s. There's a huge range where the lowest ABV of these is 42.3% ABV,
the meaning of life.
Yeah. And obviously these are all also cask strength. They haven't been taken out of the casks and then diluted or anything. And then the highest goes up to 59.7. There's 4 of the samples are in the 40s, and then we have 2 that are in the 50s. So,
and a lot of our listeners probably know this, but it's not super rare to have something old go lower in ABV. And if you remember, Will, when we were there was a couple that we tried that were very old. One was it was a Gardel, right?
Yeah, it was close. I think it was maybe right around 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that was, I can't remember the age on it. It was the 80s?
It was,
sound right?
It was old, yeah. I want to say it was 30, 40 years or something.
So I'm not saying that these are that. I'm just saying I wasn't super surprised, and I assume you weren't as well, to see 4 of these in the 40s, because if they are old, then I would expect that they're going to be reduced in ABV.
Right. And we can take a look at the one that is the lowest ABV, which is sample number 4 at 42.3%. And you can see it's fairly dark, but it's definitely nowhere near the darkest.
No.
So I guess we're going to start with the lowest ABV, John, and if we encounter one of the rums in the 40s that just we can tell is a flavor bomb, we might scoot it to the end of the 40s instead of doing those all in order, but we're definitely going to do there's a 56.7 and a 59 point something. We're definitely going to do those 2 together at the end.
Right, so I've got the first 2, which is number 4, and then I believe we said number 6, right? As our first 2 that we're going to do. Okay.
That's correct.
But for now, we're going to work on number 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll pause for a second so we can reveal for the listeners a future version of ourselves. So we'll reveal what the identity is so that they can hear just how wrong we are as we start trying to guess what it is. So, quick pause. All right, this is Will from the future here to pre-reveal the identity of this rum for you, the listeners. Stay tuned for when John and I reveal these to ourselves after tasting through them, because we'll go even deeper into the details Main Rum gave us on the samples. But for now, this is a molasses-based column still rum distilled in 1992 at Pampero Distillery in Venezuela. It aged for 34 years in ex-bourbon and ex-Scotch malt whiskey casks. Now let's see how we did.
All right, let's get into this.
This is nearly a year in the making that we've been waiting to smell this rum sample. So,
Okay.
Cheers to the nosing. Let's go.
Whew. It's a really, really pleasing nose. It's not super big, but it's there for 42. It's quite nice.
It is dense and rich and old. Yeah. I can smell the age on this one. The oak is very strong.
Yes, but I'm not getting... Sometimes I get that musty, peanutty old book smell for old things. I'm not getting that here. This is like... It's a little bit, maybe, but this is more, like you said, dense and rich are really good words.
It's kind of roasty. Like I'm getting those roasted nuts. It immediately led me to a specific producer.
I'm also thinking I have something. Do we say it at one time?
Why don't we say it on the count of three, and we'll see if we say the same thing. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Guyana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. This, not to navel gaze too much, but it reminds me a little bit of a much older version of our Guyana Rumcast Reserve, just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm getting that slightly green vibe that I get from a Versailles. Just a little. It's toned down. Nothing, it's not super fruity. I'm not getting a lot of fruit out of it. It's more of like rich Demerara, right? That's what I come with is Demerara sugar, molasses, treacle. That's
yeah. I think those are spot on. That molassesy, treacly kind of thick, rich.
It's quite pungent, like dense for a
chewy
nose at 42.
It's like a chewy nose. Yeah. There's like some chocolatiness to it as well.
Which is a hallmark.
A little doughiness, I think.
Yeah. All right, I'm going in. Can't do it anymore. Got to go in.
Cheers.
Okay. Well, the first thing I will say is it is very drinkable. Like, I think I just took 3 sips back to back. Just like I think I would have downed this. Yeah. And it's not because I'm like, oh, let me just keep going back in for the flavor. It's more of just like I want it to build a little bit. I think because it's a little lower on the ABV, and that first sip kind of doesn't give me enough of what I want, but on repeated sips, it starts to build.
I felt very similarly, where the first sip, it didn't have that kind of wow factor necessarily. It was kind of subtle. I liked what was there. Yeah. For me, the notes that came like as it built over subsequent sips, very chocolatey, very espresso, dark roast coffee, those kinds of things. There's a little bit of fruit underneath all that, like kind of dried tropical fruits, but it's very subtle. There's kind of some coconut, like Mounds Bar sort of stuff going on.
So dark chocolate and coconut,
yeah, incredibly drinkable, and still, I mean, that's kind of what you would expect for 42.3% ABV, right?
Right,
but it does have intensity of flavor.
It does.
It's just not in the same type of way that a 60% ABV cask strength rum is going to be.
Right, and I'm not feeling like this is over oaked.
No,
which is one
not
thing
at
that
all.
can happen in really long aged casks. So yeah, this feels about right in terms of, yes, their wood is present on it, but it's playing well still.
And the finish, it sticks around.
It does.
I don't know that it's necessarily taking me on like a crazy journey.
No,
but it's definitely hanging around.
Yeah. In fact, if I had to critique this, I would say it's fairly one note. But it's a nice, sustained, long note that is very pleasing, pleasurable. You know what you get. It many ways, this reminds me of like a souped-up Eldorado 15 or maybe like an Eldorado 25, If it is a single cask and it's a single mark from Guyana, I'm trying to kind of narrow in on what that is. Or which still, it's not a PM, right?
I don't think it's a PM either.
Yeah, it's not a PM. And, I mean, I think I have my guess roughly here.
I mean, I think our guess is going to be pretty similar. I think I'm going to go with a Versailles still Guyana rum.
I think that's where I'm going too. It may even be the same mark, the VSG, right? But this is closer to I'm gonna say like 25,
In
maybe
age?
23. Yeah, in age. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, if it is the Versailles, I don't think it's the Rev mark.
Right.
So
It would be
that's
darker.
that's the one with
right.
added caramel.
Yeah.
And to me, it reminds me of our VSG somewhat.
It does.
It's going to be funny when this isn't even from the same country when we reveal it. But
Well, at least we get to be wrong together.
I mean, yeah. Sometimes you just have a very clear
Mm-hmm.
idea of what you think something is,
Yeah.
and this is one of those cases, and it can become very hard to deviate from that.
If it's not the Versailles still, I still think I would go with Guyana, and I still think maybe, something close to that.
I agree. I think if it's not Guyana, like
Yeah.
maybe it's Trinidad, TDL
Yeah.
or something, but it just doesn't really
Not
feel
seeing
like
it.
that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Antigua.
Antigua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Barbados, maybe.
no.
I don't really. I'm throwing stuff out there. It's not
Yeah.
really what's in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's Guyana. So
Yeah. I'm with you.
Age is a good question though. 25's good. I might go a little bit beyond that. I'm gonna say like 30.
Yeah. My initial guess is I was thinking in my head El Dorado 15 times 2, which is 30. Is what in my brain, and then I backed it off some to say, well, maybe this is closer to 25 or 27 or something like that.
All right, are we ready to reveal?
Yeah.
Do you want me to share my screen as
Yes,
I do my
I was gonna say, do it
incredibly
so we
slow
can
scroll
see.
down?
Yeah,
Okay,
like
hold
Star
on.
Wars crawl.
Exactly. Here goes the incredibly slow scroll.
Okay, here comes the first
second
page.
page is
Yep.
Insight, and there
Yep,
are only
yep.
2 pages I see now. So
Oh, wow.
I
So we
really
have to
do
go
need to be
real-
I hope it's
yeah.
not like a 2-column layout or anything.
We'll find out together.
Yeah.
If it looks like that, we'll stop. Oh,
Uh-oh.
yeah. We need. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
Okay. I don't know how we're going to do this. Okay. So after much deliberation, we have determined with some assistance from my lovely wife, Samantha, who was trying to arrange this in a way to where we wouldn't spoil things for ourselves. We have some questions as to the format of this, and we don't want to chance spoiling any of these samples. So we're just going to taste them all and give our guesses in order. And then
Yeah.
we're going to just do a big reveal of all 6. And of course, as you're listening, we will edit in the reveals along the way so you know what each of these are. But John and I will not find out until the very end. So it'll be all at once. Our minds our heads may explode right on the podcast, John. It may be too much information to absorb at once, but that's what we're going to do.
Will, the way I look at it is just now I can't get on a hot streak, right? So it's an advantage for you, Just no.
Well,
All
also, I was thinking about it now. Not knowing what any identities are, our subsequent guesses can't definitively be influenced by knowing the identities of other ones, right?
Right.
So that's kind of a subtle difference. Okay, our next sample, John.
All right, let's do this.
Will from the future once again to let you know this is a molasses-based column still rum distilled in either 1989 or 1991 at the Caroni distillery in Trinidad. It aged for at least 34 years in an ex-rum cask. Let's see how we did. Sample number 6 is the next one up in ABV. It is 45.4% ABV. This may be one of the lightest. This may be the lightest in color
Yeah, it's
of
definitely
all the
light.
samples, John.
Mm-hmm. I would say like a dark. It's not quite straw. It's a little darker than that. Honey.
Just to do a comparison with sample 4 and 6 next to each other, you can see that's significantly lighter.
Yep. I would
It's
say
definitely-
like a.
It's more of like a pale, like a gold.
Yeah, gold is kind of where I was going. Like gold.
It's like piss gold.
It's piss gold. Yes, it's on the dehydration scale. It's right
Whereas
in the middle.
The other one was more like honey, like you were
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So, anyway, 45.4% ABV. Let's give it a nose to make our final determination of if we want to do this one next.
I'm in.
Yeah, that doesn't strike me as hyper aggressive or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's really put our minds to it. Oh shit. That's one of those where it's like immediately something comes to mind, but I'm not sure what it is yet, but I know it's familiar.
It is familiar. I'm detecting a higher ester with this.
It's fruitier for sure.
Right. So I'm right. So from that fruitiness, it's what usually leads me to think this is a high ester rum, or at least much higher in esters than what we had previously.
I wouldn't say like aggressively high ester or anything. It has this kind of like gummy bear bubble gummy, but not that like super high ester bubble gum kind of. It's like a softer kind of bubblicious sort of.
It's not, Savannah Her in like that kind of thing. I don't mean that way. But this does, I'm just going to come out and say it. It smells like a Jamaican nose to me.
I think that's where my mind's going. But there's this like bready quality to it as well that's throwing me a little bit. Fortunately, we don't have to guess solely based on the nose. So,
but it's specifically to me got the pineapple that's usually associated with Hampden.
There's some kind of pineapple, but I don't know if it's Hampden or not yet. If it is Hampden, to me, it would be like a lower ester mark on out of Hampden's.
Yeah, mid. I'm gonna say mid.
I don't think it would be anything beyond like HLCF.
Agreed, for sure. It might even be OWH, right? OWH.
Yeah.
I think I'm remembering that right.
If it were a Hampden, that's what I think. But I'm not 100%. I'm not totally sold it's a Hampden though.
It's a strongish nose for the ABV. Again, 45 on this ABV, and it's pretty strong.
All right, time to taste.
Let's do it.
Cheers. Okay, that's. I'm gonna go for subsequent sips. That ain't a Hampden.
I'm not as convinced as you are.
I have a different distillery in mind now.
Okay.
Man, the finish of this one I am loving.
Silky.
And the finish is where it reveals itself to me. I'm not saying I'm right. It's just where what I think this is really crystallized for me in the finish. It's a really dense rum for 45.4%. Like, especially on the finish, it just like it gets thick and chewy and it's a little perfumey on the finish. It's fantastic.
It is. This is a phenomenal rum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the first one, the number 4, but this number 6 sample is woo. This is banging.
It kind of enters with this like soft melons, honeydew kind of thing.
Honeydew's
and then the finish comes, and this is a note that I associate very specifically with one distillery. So I've said it before, but it's this like passion fruit leather kind of thing that just builds. And to me, there is like some pineapple in there too. But when I taste this note, my mind always goes straight to TDL, Trinidad Distillers Limited, is where it goes. And it's very difficult for me to get that out of my head now.
I can see it. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a TDL. I think initially I was getting that Hampden-esque quality to it of, like you said, a lower to mid on the nose. But yeah, the palate does give me some different things. And it definitely has reminded me of some of those TDLs. I think the Flag Series TDL comes to mind. I'm not as 100% in on that as you are, but I also can't deny it.
I would guess that this is mostly aged in the UK, judging by the color.
Yeah.
The ABV signals to me that this is probably a pretty old rum. The color, in order for it to align with where I think the years are going age-wise, it would need to be a lot of aging in Europe as opposed to at origin in the tropics, assuming it comes from the tropics.
Agreed.
So I think it's probably an old TDL aged primarily in the UK.
There's a delicateness to it that I believe gives me a longer aged feel as well, which is, kind of not consistent with the color, as you were saying. So I think this is very much a either fully continentally aged or mostly continentally aged Caribbean rum most likely, I think I'm gonna agree with you and say it's a TDL or something like that. And I don't know. I'm thinking something like 20 or 22 in that range. Where are you?
Sorry,
longer?
I'm still just like I finished my whole pour, which I did with the first rum too.
Yeah,
Which I
both
usually
really good.
I usually don't do that when we're doing these blind tastings. But both of these were like so drinkable,
So good.
and especially the second one is so tasty. It gets this kind of like vanilla custardy vibe with everything as well. God, it's good.
Yeah, that's really good.
I maybe it's just because like this one even more so than the previous one is nowhere close to being over oaked to me.
Correct.
It's I think the oak influence is like soft and beautiful and
Yep.
isn't taking anything off the table from the
Yep.
distillate, I feel like.
Yep.
But the ABV being at 45.4 just makes me think it's got to be pretty
Longer.
old. Yeah. So I almost want to go with like 28-year-old TDL, primarily aged in the UK.
So here's a good point. First of all, I think your logic is sound. And what I think you're doing is kind of reasoning it out along with the flavors that you're getting. And I think I'm going back to indexing what is it that I remember that I've had. I don't think I've had something. Let's say this is a 35-year-old TDL.
Yeah.
Don't think I've ever had one. So it's harder for me to just kind of jump to that and say, oh, this is what I think.
Yeah.
But your logic is sound. And I can appreciate it.
So your official guess, you're also going TDL?
Finding it hard not to. If I had to do a backup guess, I still feel like I would just. It's especially the finish, the last third of it doesn't feel Hampden-esque to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit. I want to go somewhere else, but I'm finding your argument to be very persuasive.
Okay, that's fine. I'm happy to win you over to the cause. It may be a lost cause once we reveal the answer, but so what do you think in terms of age? You said 20 originally.
I'm gonna go
with that.
I'm gonna go with like 22
Okay.
ish, somewhere around there. I'm specifically recalling that Flag Series release, so
Okay.
I'm like, okay, something around that.
All right. We got through another one. Our next rum, John. Sample number 2. Okay, time for the pre-reveal. This is a blend of molasses-based pot still rums distilled in 1983 at Hampden and Long Pond distilleries in Jamaica. It spent an unknown amount of time in oak before being refilled into an ex-rum cask in the UK in 2007. So 19 years we know for sure, but likely north of 30 and possibly 40 years total. Let's see what we think. At 48.6%
Jumping up a little bit.
ABV. Yeah, a little step up. And if everyone wants to see the color on this one, once again, I'll hold up the previous one we just did, which again you can see is lighter. I think this one probably that we're about to do probably falls somewhere in between the previous one and the first one.
Yeah,
in terms of color.
still on the lighter side.
48.6% ABV. Okay, hello. You sure you weren't smelling this one when you gave your initial guess last time?
I mean, now it's like obvious, right? Now I'm like, wait. I retract my previous statement because this one is definitely feeling like Jamaica.
Yeah, Jamaica, and specifically it
Yeah.
feels like a Hampden
Yeah.
to me.
It does. You know what? I had both poured. I wonder if there could have been a little bit wafting in the room. That's a good
it's
way.
certainly- it's in Hampden fashion. It is a more intense nose, so maybe it did. Oh
Yeah.
man, it's interesting because initially I was just like, oh, classic Hampden, and as I keep going back to nose it more, I'm like, oh, there's like some depth and complexity. There's more than meets the nose initially to this one.
It's a transformer. Wait, we can't. I don't know if we
Maybe.
can use that.
I mean, I'm getting the Hampden pineapple, but then there's some real age on it for sure.
There is. I'm still overwhelmed with the pineapple note.
Yeah. It's almost like, you know what it is? It's not just that bright, fresh, or sometimes rotting pineapple. It's like a pineapple upside down cake. It's that, that caramelly, like rich, sweet.
Yeah, a little cakey.
Yeah.
All right, let's go in for it.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my God, dude.
That is that's a special, nice little drink.
I need a moment of silence while a single tear runs down my cheek.
God, that is incredible rum. Not the most flavor bomb. Like, it's actually less intense than I expected from the nose. But, like, in the best of ways. It's so rounded. It's so airy and light, and yet you get the nice bit of flavor on it. Rounded is the word that keeps coming to me in terms of, like, gosh, it drinks so great.
You know what it reminds me of? The entry, I get those. You've already finished your whole pour.
Done. I'm done.
The entry, I get the inviting Hampden pineapple, but it's a much mellower pineapple than you get on the nose.
Yeah.
And then what follows is like big cask influence in a great, not in like a, oh my God, like chewing on an oak chips way, but it almost reminds me of like a Navy blend. Like a really well done black tot, Master's Reserve, or one of the Vellier very old,
because
blends.
when you're doing those blends, you're trying to achieve this result.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on it. If this is a Hampden rum like we're thinking, it might be the best Hampden rum I've ever had.
I mean, this is... I'm just going off a couple sips here, but just in terms of like instant reaction of tasting a rum, this is up there for me among the best rums I've ever had in terms of first impressions of just like being left almost speechless. But I had to say something because we're on a podcast.
Right. But I am struggling to get out anything else in terms of like, why is it so good, right? It's just the only thing I can keep coming up with is like the mouthfeel is so it's like lighter than air. The notes that you're getting, like you mentioned, it starts with a little bit of that like cooked pineapple, and then into that cask influence, not overwhelming with spice. But what is spice there is like, it's just adding the right, it's as if you made this recipe and you knew exactly what it was going to be in terms of proportionality, and you've executed at a very high level. I'm like, I want to pour more, but we've got 3 more samples to go through. So.
I know. Without a doubt, this whole sample is being consumed.
Oh yeah.
It's got this amazing, intense honey character that comes through, kind of following that pineapple. And I've talked about this with some Guyana rums historically, where and this is very much in the own language of my head or whatever, but it's like it takes a plunge mid-palate. I've never figured out how to describe this, but it's almost like, when you're on a roller coaster, and you get to the top, dip, and then you go and you feel your stomach kind of drop. It's like the rum does something, whatever the equivalent of that is, it does that to my palate. It is just like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, 2 back-to-back now, really amazing rums that are very, very good, which we at this point still don't know if what we are tasting is what we think it is or if it's not. But irrespective of that, these are like some of the best cask samples that we've had from Maine Rum for sure.
Yeah.
Do we think it's just ex-bourbon, or is there anything else there?
I would guess this is just ex-bourbon.
I think that's where I'm going to.
I mean, what is your kind of final guess for this one.
It feels like a Hampden rum, not a high ester Hampden rum.
Okay.
So I think I'm going somewhere close to that HLCF or OWH type of thing. Again, looking at the color and all of that, I feel like this is going to be an older rum that is mostly continentally aged, but not all continentally aged.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking probably just ex-bourbon, maybe in a cask that has an older cask, like something that's
like a worn down cask.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's not giving me an overwhelming amount of oak or spice. It's just kind of right there where it needs to be. And so with that, I don't know. I'm thinking this has to be something along those lines of a 30-year Hampden.
30-year Hampden. All right.
Does that even make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if there's not Hampden rum in this, I might just quit the podcast because, like, if there's not Hampden rum in this, I don't know what Hampden is, basically. Yeah. I definitely think there's Hampden rum in this. Where my guess is going to differ from yours a little bit. I think this is a blend, is what I'm going to guess.
Okay.
Because this is this is a horrible description because it's going to make this rum sound very undignified and not well executed. But it's a mullet rum, John, where it's one thing on the nose, but then when you get to the palate, it's another thing. A mullet is business in the front, party in the back.
Right.
This is it's Hampden on the nose, but something beyond that on the palate for me is how it goes. I think maybe there's some Guyana in here.
I would expect different flavors if that were the case, which is going to make me look like a total ass right now because we've already revealed it. And if it was that and you're spot on, it is what it is. But
maybe I'm just tasting some leftover notes from that first rum, but I get this kind of like Tootsie Roll, chocolatey coffee coming in with the Hampden stuff. And it's interesting because it reads very Hampden on the nose, and there is some Hampden on the palate, but there's something beyond that to me. And maybe it's just an expression of Hampden that I haven't had before. That could totally be possible, but I'm going to go out and say a Hampden. It's a blend with Hampden. I'll say DDL. And then I'm going to guess there's like a third component that's a little bit more reserved, like maybe a Barbados or maybe even TDL.
Maybe a TDL. I'm still not finding the Guyana as much.
And I agree. I think it's probably ex-bourbon. I don't think it's a crazy creative wacky cask or anything.
What's the longest aged Hampden you've had? Do you have a recollection of what that is?
I don't. I have a horrible mental catalog of the rums that I've tried.
Now I'm almost taking the exact opposite tack that I did on our second sample, which is I'm like trying to imagine, could you have a Hampden long-aged, continentally probably, rum that turns out to be this? And I'm like, yeah, I think you might. You could.
I don't think I've had any Hampdens before that are like over 30 years.
Right.
So I'm going to guess this one is. I'm going to say it's like a 32-year, and I'm saying it's a blend, so maybe, but it's a single cask, so they would probably be around the same age. Yeah, I'm going with that. I'm going to say 32 years. And I do think maybe there is some aging at origin and aging in Europe as well, like you said. I agree with that assessment. Wow. I just want to keep drinking that.
I had to pour another little bit out of that one just because it's so good.
What a fucking rum, man. Isn't rum great?
Yeah.
This is one of those rums that just makes you like, rum is awesome.
Honestly, 2 back-to-back, and even the first one was very good. I just think it was a step below the last 2.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the last 2 were both great, but this one that we just tried, in a tier of its own. And I loved the one before it, the one that I guess, TDL. Or I think we both arrived at that, but yeah.
All right, we ready for,
Where do we even, is it possible to go up from here, John?
If it does, I'm just trying to imagine what that looks like. Like, we're going to have to, put in angel sounds into the podcast. because that was really good. Okay, so number 5 sample here, which is our 4th in terms of sequentially, but it is marked as number 5. And you can see this one is also, I would say, similar-ish in color. It's still not dark, but like looking at like the last
it's
sample,
almost the exact same
I was
color.
gonna say almost identical. Yeah.
Yeah.
ABV 48.9%, so almost the exact same ABV. The other one was 48.6. So yeah, two very similar color, similar ABV rums here. Hell, I'll take an extra of what we just had.
All right, Future Will, once again, to let you know, this is a blend of molasses-based pot still rums from Barbados, Jamaica, and Guyana, with an average age of 36 years, though it contains rums from 1982, 83, 86, and 89. Let's see if we can decode this blend.
All right, you ready to nose this one?
I'm ready.
So this one's starting to remind me of the second sample we had a little bit.
I can see that connection.
But also something different.
It's another, like, thick, rich, kind of luxurious nose. This is just such a collection of, like, bougie-ass samples, I feel like.
Yeah. But this one has that. Sometimes I get this note on long-aged Martinique rums. And I'm not saying that yet. I definitely want to taste this first, but I wouldn't immediately peg this as like cane juice rum, but there is this like hidden little. It's not super present. It's a little bit acidic.
I definitely see the connection to the second sample because it has a similar, like, I used the term passion fruit leather with that, and this isn't passion fruit for me, but it's some other type of fruit leather that it
closer to like almost like a raspberry or some sort of red fruit type of thing. Yeah, I'm getting the red fruits or stone fruits maybe also.
I think what it's reading to me is grape, almost like a grape soda, but a smoother version of grape soda. And when I say smooth, I mean like more rounded, not as like sharp and acidic.
I still do get that little bit of acidity there. I think the last time I got something like this was the Renaissance rums. Taiwan.
I can kind of see that. But those, to me, have those kind of grapey qualities a lot of times. So I think it sounds like we're nosing something similar and maybe just arriving at it with different descriptions.
Or it could be a cognac type of cask as well.
Good call. And there's kind of some, mustiness, old books sort of quality to it as well. All right.
Let's do it.
Bottoms up.
Cheers. Holy shit. This is so good. So, the first thing I will notice about this one versus the other rums that we've had so far is I do feel a little bit more like you get some strength out of this. And I actually, I swallowed a little bit of this one and got a little bit slightly more burn than I've got in the other samples, where it felt like I almost had zero burn in any of those, and a little bit more in this one. So from that standpoint, I think it feels a little stronger. But I don't want to take away from the fact that this is tasting an amazing flavor journey on this one, especially in the mid palate.
It does, in some ways, remind me of the previous rum, not in terms of overall flavor profile necessarily, but in terms of the journey it takes you on.
Yeah.
I get that similar plunge effect with this one, but I get more like, instead of that pineapple, it's like grapes, blackberries, stuff like that, darker fruits, and but so rich. And I think your observation about hotter is the wrong word, because I would not describe this as hot.
Right.
But there's some more force behind the ABV on this one than all of the previous ones. And I think the previous rum is an apt comparison because they're almost the same ABV. That one was 48.6. This one is 48.9. But this one drinks a little bit proofier, I would say, than the previous one, but still not in a bad way.
Nope.
I don't mind it.
Yep. I think a lot of people prefer this in that strength, especially rum enthusiasts. Not to say you wouldn't appreciate what the previous rum was doing at that same ABV, lighter than air, whereas this one feels like it's grounded and, you feel the steps that it's taking, but in a good way. It's almost like, I don't know, this is probably a weird metaphor, but like, whereas the previous rum that we tasted that we both loved might be something of a dance where it's lighter. You're seeing dancers like be very light on their feet with it, where this one feels like it's more of a flamenco, like you're stomping a little bit. And
got some castanets going.
Yes, and you've got some force behind your dance, but you're like, yes, I'm here for this. I'm trying to think of a dance that's like light. Like, I don't know, does river dance qualify? Like they're kicking their legs 100 miles an hour, but like you never hear a sound. Versus,
I would not ever describe myself as a qualified dance expert, so I wish I could contribute more.
I don't know why I'm not a dance expert either. Just you may have known that about me, Will. But that's the comparison that I have right now.
Miami seems like a town. I mean, I guess we both live in towns where a lot of dancing takes place.
Yeah.
I mean, different types of dancing. I assume there's less square dancing and shit in Miami.
Much less. Yeah. Unless you go to Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse. All right.
Oh man, really, really good rum.
A lot of bottom end on the finish of this one. Like it gets really kind of like dark and deep. Yep. I would say.
This is the first
nice
one.
Kind of barrel char character, I would guess, on the cask, maybe.
Right. I was going to say exactly that. This is the first one where I feel more of the cask influence and spice from the cask coming into play.
So what's your guess on this? We haven't named anything. I want to know where you think this comes from, because I have an idea in my mind that I think I'm going to stick to, but I want to hear yours first.
I'm coming back to Trinidad again, but I feel like they wouldn't have put 2 Trinidads in there. So now I'm struggling with that. But yes, I don't get the classic passion fruit leather note that you talk about on this, so that's leading me away from it. But there's something there that does remind me. Like we tasted that one that has that floral characteristic while we were at Maine Rum, and there's a little bit of florality here.
That one was in some kind of different cask.
So it may be that. It may be that there's a different cask in play here, like a cognac cask or je ne sais quoi cask. That's not ex-bourbon, that is doing something to this rum that is, so far I'm still feeling that Trinidad-esque vibe.
Okay. And by Trinidad, you're saying?
TDL.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you maybe thought it was a Caroni.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
By the way, small aside, the little sample that you gave me of that Amaro and the Caroni thing that we had talked about in a previous episode is now I know what you're going to say when I say this, but I have to be honest with you. It may be my favorite ever Amaro. Wow. It's that good.
It's really interesting. I feel like I should send you the bottle, because the more I drink it,
I will pay you to send me that bottle.
I don't. We did a bonus episode about this. I found an Amaro in Italy from the Amaro producer Amara. I actually still have the box here. I can show it really quickly. Where you see Caroni there at the bottom, because it was the Amaro that was aged in ex-Caroni rum casks. It was a collaboration between Amara and Luca Gargano / Bellier. And I don't know. We don't need to do a whole aside, but for me, it's just like overwhelming orange plus a little bit of like burning rubber influence from the Caroni, and I just
it does the right thing for the Caroni, right? That burning rubber is better as a support note and not a leading thing, and that's where my problem with Caroni usually is.
That's fine.
I'm not saying it's not a Caroni, because maybe this is a well-executed Caroni that is giving that, bitterness but in a supporting way as opposed to the lead role. And
I'm saying
if
it's not a. I'm saying it's not a Caroni.
I don't think it is either, but I want to know where you are going with it, because maybe you'll change my mind. But yeah,
this rum, again, different flavor profile from the last one, but it feels similarly composed to me, and I kind of want to say this one is a blend too, is how I feel about it.
It may be.
And I think instead of the Hampden influence, I do think TDL, I could see that. Mm-hmm. My mind went in a different direction, where when I get blackberries and that kind of thing, I go to Long Pond.
Long Pond is a good guess, yeah.
So I'm going to say it's another blend with Long Pond, and I hate to keep fucking firing out Guyana, but once the finish comes in, I get these notes that remind me of the Guyana notes that I get in Navy blends sometimes. Maybe there's a little PM in there. Your cognac cask
I do think
note is interesting.
Yeah. I do think your guess, Long Pond, or maybe even Clarendon, but I agree with you. I think it's more of that Long Pond acidity. I call it acidity because I know a lot of people love it. I have not been as big a fan of it. I do like the execution here on it.
I'm
So
a pretty big
guess.
Long Pond fan.
Yeah. I think I have a slight preference for Clarendon.
Interesting. Because I feel like I usually get more of those floral notes from Clarendon than any other Jamaican distillery. But yeah, I'm going to go another blend. There's something in here coming in that makes me think Guyana, but that fruitiness takes me to Long Pond. So I'm going to say a blend involving those things. And
Good guess.
I think this is another well-aged rum. Maybe I'll go like 27 years for this one. And maybe it had a little bit more tropical aging than the previous one.
I could see that. And I'm hovering in the same area as well, like a 25-year-ish type of thing.
Okay. I'm going to say
23, 25. Yeah.
All right, we've got two left, and we're going into the 50s now, John, in terms of
This
ABV.
is a big jump, right? And number one, so this is sample number 3. This is our 5th today. And this is 56.7% ABV, which is a pretty decent jump, right? We've been in the 40s up to now. And now you've got this 56. Plus, it's a good bit darker, right?
Yeah.
So these last two samples, both you and I noticed when we lined these up that these two last samples are a good bit darker than the rest of what we've tried so far. So, one possibility with that is more tropical aging, but not necessarily so. Could be cask influence, could be some other things there. So I'm interested to see. But yeah, let's see what we get out of these.
All right, I'm once again checking in to let you, the listener, know this is a molasses-based pot still rum distilled in 1989 on the Port Morant still at Iflot in Guyana. It spent 37 years aging in ex-bourbon and ex-Scotch malt whiskey casks. Let's see if we can figure out this PM.
Wow. So I'm right back to Guyana.
I could see that. There, a note that jumped out to me right away was like Luxardo cherries.
I could see that.
The maraschino cherries, you know?
Yeah. Maraschino cherries.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a good note, but I'm still getting that undercurrent of what I usually associate with a Guyana rum.
I see that as well. I think that's a good
dark chocolate, baker's
call out.
chocolate, Demerara molasses backbone.
A little bit of that greenness.
A little bit of the greenness. Yep. It's another rich one, right? This gives me desserty rich.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's go in.
My God. Oh, man. We should just bottle these, Will.
Yeah, why didn't we buy these casks? Not that ours aren't awesome. I'm guessing these cost a
tad bit more?
A tad bit more.
Yeah.
I
Scotch.
mean, we were told just the value of these samples alone was north of $400. So
yeah.
Wow.
So it's the clear step up in AVB that we expected, and that's fine. Because if that's what you're in for, that's the mood you're in. You want something that's going to be more aggressive. You want something that's really pushing out into all the areas of your mouth and your palate. Like I'm still I'm struggling to talk right now because my mouth is watering.
Why do you think I'm shutting up over here? It definitely reminds me of the very first one that we did in terms of overall flavor profile. But, I mean, the ABV difference is huge. The first one we did was 42.3. This is 56.7. And you feel that, not in terms of like, this is harder to drink. It's just like the intensity of flavor is, like you were saying, it comes in, it takes over your palate, it evolves, it goes places. Man. But it's got to be a Guyana, right?
I think it is.
I mean, and I'm still getting the same kind of like Versailles VSG kind of vibe from it.
See, now I'm
Maybe
thinking
it could be more of a PM.
No, I wasn't going to say that. There's a specific bottle I have in mind, and the wrong name is coming to me right now. So it's not Skeldon. It's I
actually think maybe it is a PM.
You think?
I get more of that green note. I definitely do think. I think you said this initially when we were just looking at the color. I think this does have more tropical aging than any of the other ones that we've tried. It's so roasty, dark chocolate. Again, the coffee, but fruitier, I would say, actually, than the first one, which is the rum I was comparing it to. That first one we tried, which we also guessed was a Guyana VSG. Yeah, maybe it's a PM.
Okay. Here's what I think it is. This reminds me of a pour that I had the last time I was in Boston. And it's from Guyana. On the Enmore still.
Oh, Enmore.
Yes. So I had John and Lori Shue were very nice enough to share with me a bottle of this 1995 Enmore. And that's what I'm recalling. I'm not like telling you right now, like, Will, this is what that is. This is what that is. Because I only had it the one time. But this is what that feels like to me. So
and
that's
that was
my
one
guess.
of the Black Bottle Velier.
Yes, Velier releases,
rums,
correct.
Right?
Yes. So
those tropically aged, long
correct.
aged.
Yep. That was in 95, and I can't remember when it was bottled, but so yeah, you're north of 20 years for sure. Yeah, that's what this is giving me, is that kind of, I remember trying that one and going, oh my God, that was just such an amazing rum. That one was only 16 years aged, Will, in tropical climate.
Wow.
I looked up the picture in the build of it right now, and that one was actually at Enmore. That was a 61% at 16 years. I feel like this one is that one, but aged a little longer, and the ABV sunk a little bit. So I'm going to go with that as I'm locking it in as my final answer for now, that it is like it could be around the same year and just, aged in the cask longer, 20-ish years, maybe 18, 19, tropical though. And I'm going to go with that Enmore. Mid-90s, little later 90s, I guess, which wouldn't make sense because, damn it, then the friggin' distillery. You know what I'm trying to get at, right?
Yeah. I am going to do a similar... I mean, people listening will realize we're going in a similar direction already, but I think I'm going to go with PM. I think in terms of the PM spectrum, I think it's a milder PM. It's not like the kind of weird side of PM. But I get that green mossy note in it, but it's mostly dominated by the like rich coffee, dark chocolate, roasted nuts, that kind of. So I also think it's mostly aged at origin, and I'm gonna put it at 21 years. I think it's
pretty close.
I don't think it's aged as long as the other rums we've been tasting, but still a long aged rum. So I'll put it at 21 years.
I think that's a good call. If it's PM, like you're saying, the PM only comes in towards the finish for me.
It's definitely, it's like after the swallow that it starts to come in for me. Yeah.
So it's a really, really good rum.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Good. It's awesome. Oh, man, I'm sad we only have one of these left because they've all been fucking great.
Yeah. Every single one so far has been really good.
Okay, I think this is the darkest of the bunch, though, John.
Yeah.
Rum number one. We're ending with number one.
Because it's number one, Will, do you think that this is the first cask they thought of when they said we need to do this for them?
I don't even want to go that deep thinking about it, but does seem like a good theory. 59.7% ABV. We'll hold it up next to the previous one.
Both pretty dark.
They're pretty close.
Yeah. I'd say it may be a tad darker, but not by much.
Scotch? Yeah.
But versus the other samples, definitely darker.
Yeah. That's how it expresses in the glass. There's almost kind of like a rubious, ruby-ish hue.
Rubious Hagrid.
Yeah. There's a red kind of quality to it. And finally, the final pre-reveal. This is a molasses-based pot still rum distilled in 1984 at Clarendon Distillery in Jamaica. It spent 42 years in oak, including 34 at origin. For the last time, let's see how we did.
I see the red that you're talking about there. That's
something specific.
Didn't stick out to me initially.
I don't want to be the first to say it. But.
Whoa. Okay, this is pretty different than what we've had so far. So...
I don't want to say what I'm going to say because I don't want to implant it. I have something like very specific in my mind.
Okay. I'm less committed than you are at this point. So let me nose it a little bit longer before you say what you got.
Yeah.
Wow. First of all.
Yeah.
This is like radiating, you know? Like all of the noses, like you said, have been very thick and dense, but this is like radiating like you would think of when something is very hot and it radiates out, you know.
It's like when you see the pavement on a hot summer's day.
Yeah.
And it's just the heat waves.
Or like sand in a mirage. Like it's wow. And it's dark.
Yeah. Sticky.
Yeah. Like toffee pudding.
Sticky toffee pudding, which
right.
we had while we were in Liverpool.
Right. Sticky toffee pudding
at the Titanic Hotel.
I'm not sure what you're pulling for yet, though. Still, I wish I was.
Should I just say it?
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
I think there's Caroni in here.
That's where my brain was going. But if it is, let's see where the palate goes, right?
Yeah.
And if it is the Caroni, I really am enjoying the nose in a way that the Caroni 2000, I think it is, bottle, that I just immediately disliked from nose to palate. And I don't feel that here. I like this nose well enough to be
if it is sitting around. It's not on the like super mega diesel-y burning rubber.
Right.
But there's some things in
Phenolic.
it that remind me of Caroni. There's this kind of molasses cookie note.
Yeah.
There is a little bit to me of diesel-y burnt rubber, but it's like an accent. So I don't know yet if maybe I think it's another blend that has Caroni in it, or if it's just one of the more milder, fruitier Caronis, because there's some fruitier,
right.
There's like some fruity qualities to this as well.
Some people have sent me Caroni samples that have turned me around on it in recognizing like, oh, I was basing my Caroni hatred off of like two experiences. Right, yeah. And as I mentioned earlier, I liked the Amaro that was finished in the Caroni casks, and I've had some good Caroni's rums that I think I would actually enjoy. I just wouldn't enjoy having to buy them at the price they are going for.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into this one. Let's see if we get Caroni on the palate.
Right.
Yep.
Really?
Okay. Well, when I said yep, and I tasted it, I was enjoying it, and then that finish of the tar came through, and that kind of messes it for me.
There's an ashtray finish to this.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
Yeah.
But I think that I like it.
You're not alone. I think
I drank a Caroni and I liked it.
You have to sing it. It is a Caroni. I'm just going to go out there and say it. It is.
I think it is too. Yeah.
And it is a well-executed Caroni. And it's got some age on it. And it's rounded off those things. And again, I want to go back to saying, I've said this before, as somebody who, if I major in rum, I minor in Scotch, right? I'm okay with Lafroigs and Ardbegs that are sometimes have that similarity of phenolic, iodine-esque tar-like notes. But it just, for whatever reason, in the rum space, doesn't speak to me as much. Like, I don't want ashtray in my rum. And
You reserve ashtray for whiskey.
yeah, apparently, I guess. I wouldn't quite call it ashtray in like those Ardbegs as well. It's like different. It's
Iodine.
iodine Ford, right?
Yeah.
I really appreciate what this is doing. I think in the right hands, this is worth more than gold. It's not my hands. But let me hear your thoughts on it now that I've spoken my piece. What I'm getting from it is a really nice entry, flavorful, bold, but then it fades into that ash kind of tar-esque thing at the end that just pulls me away from being able to fully enjoy it. Where are you at?
I love it. I think it's awesome. The hands you were describing were my hands, actually. And it's interesting because to me it's so fruit forward on the entry, but then as soon as it gets to the mid palate and the finish, it is like diesel, tire fire, ashtray, but in a way that really works for me. It almost takes a hard turn of like, when you drink an Amaro, a lot of times you get sweetness, and then it really goes into the bitter.
To the bitter. Mm-hmm.
That's what this reminds me of, actually.
Yeah. I'm okay with bitter.
It comes in, and it's inviting and bright, and then it just like takes a hard left turn.
It does.
And is like bitter, diesel, smoking. But, I say this with my wife all the time. I was never a smoker. I may have had, like socially smoked cigarettes like every once in a while when I was younger. It was never a habitual thing. I don't think I've ever bought a pack of cigarettes other than when I was like 17 buying Black and Milds at a gas station to feel like a badass. But as we get deeper into a smoke-free society in the U.S., there are certain social spaces where I miss cigarette smoke. One of them is when I go to concerts. And
interesting.
I'm still thinking back to when I was 18, 19 years old, playing in bands in little small clubs in Nashville, and people smoked.
You have a positive
association of live music and smoke. And I go to see live shows now, and it's this very sanitized, clean environment. The drinks are all so much more expensive. To buy a fucking beer, I've got to pay $15 now. And I'm just like, man, I miss what and part of it's just because I was young then, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, this is neither here nor there, but so sometimes cigarette smoke, I smell it and I'm like, oh man, I feel like a kid again, basically, So maybe that's what draws me to the grungier side of Caroni a little bit, but to me, it falls in that Raising Glass's Perennia category of Caroni, where it's got some fruit-forward qualities, but this goes deeper into the grungier nature than Perennia did for anyone who's tried that rum. It's going to be so funny, Perennia, of course, if this isn't Caroni at all, but it really feels like maybe I could possibly see that it's a blend that has Caroni, but I think I'm just going to guess full Caroni.
Same. I get a reaction to Caroni that is, it's going to sound weird, but like a reflux reaction. Like I'm like, whoop, whoop.
Like acid reflux?
Yes. And it's giving me that right now. I feel of all of these so far, this is the most confident I feel, that one is. Yeah. It's just, there's no other way for me to say it, and I don't want to take away from anybody else's enjoyment of it by saying it's not for me. This is the first one I could pour back in the bottle and be okay. I know I'm not alone out there either. I know there are other people who don't gravitate towards these ashtray Caronis or tire fire Caronis.
There are
like I do.
dozens of you, yeah.
Dozens. There's dozens of us. Yeah.
So
and
I think we are both firm Caroni.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna go with like it has to be pretty long aged. Probably tropically, so more so than continentally. I don't know. We've been sticking with this number 30.
I know, yeah.
And that's kind of where my head is going, 28, 29, somewhere around there.
Here's the thing. I start thinking about like when did Caroni close? You
Right.
know? So it was the early 2000s, so it's got to be north of, somewhere around 25 or so. So I'll say it's a 26 year.
Okay. That's a fair guess. I don't have anything more to say about it, honestly. Like I'm thinking about it, and I am really glad, Will, that we went in the order that we did, and this one was saved for last.
I think we nailed the order.
We did, because man, this would have killed my palate had we started with it. Yeah. It is a destroyer of worlds. So yeah, if that's what you're looking for out of a powerful rum that is going to wreck your palate for 5 days, then you want this. It's just
okay.
Yeah.
Are we ready to attempt to decode the answer page?
Yes, I'm fully ready to be wrong on 4 out of 5. Wait,
right.
6, 5 out of 6.
I'm gonna share my screen with you. Are you ready?
All right, let's do this. Let's see this
We're gonna go
reveal.
one at a time. We're gonna start with 4. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna go all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And to remind everyone, this was the one we both guessed Guyana VSGs. John, you guessed 25 year. I guessed 30. Let's see what we've got. So number 4 right here.
Wow.
Wait, Pampero.
No fucking way. Wow. That is nuts. I've talked about Pampero on the podcast before because I actually like that bottle for what it is. And I think of the Spanish column still rums, it's pretty good. Now, having something 34 years in age, and an ex-malt whiskey cask. Wow. That was going to be tough. Pampero is Venezuela? It's South America, I think. Hold on. Now you're making
Venezuela.
Yeah, I think it's Venezuela. Yeah, it's Venezuela.
So, this is a 1992 vintage, 34-year-old Venezuela column still rum from Pampero that was aged 8 years, 8 years at origin, and then that would be 26 years not at origin. And okay, we've got some background. We've got distilled in September 1992, aged for 8 years in ex-bourbon barrels, shipped to UK and refilled in Scottish malt whiskey casks in 2001.
Wow.
John, in 2001, what were you doing in 2001?
Oh, I was in D.C., depending on the time of year, as most Americans know, 2001 was a rough year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, depends a little bit, but that's where I was at, D.C. Where were you?
I would have been in Florence, Alabama. I would have been in 7th grade.
Man, I just dipped back into it, Will. And now it feels like, it's like, oh, yeah, got it, malt whiskey cask. Totally, right? It's very evident.
It really is, like, so obvious.
Yeah. I would not have ever, I don't think, guessed a Venezuelan rum.
No, I wouldn't have gotten there.
Wow. I really do like it. It is very good.
Yeah. It is interesting that we went to Guyana.
Yeah. I do still feel like it's... you said it's not quite one note, but it's like that. Of the 6 that we just tasted, it's the most straightforward by far.
And I would say, like, we started with this, and I think we both kind of said something to the effect of, like, it didn't blow me out of the water. And there were other rums that definitely did in the lineup. Mm-hmm. I would say most of them did. Yeah. This was the one that was the most kind of reserved and not as wowing, I would say.
Yeah. Still a really cool thing to try a Venezuelan rum at that age.
And I don't think it's had anything done to it. I don't think there's additives.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But the Scotch whiskey cask influence is clearly there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. Okay. So we're 0 for 1. Very wrong on that front, John. Let's go to number 6, which was our next one. 45.4% ABV. We said this was, and I know it's up on the screen. I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh my God.
We we both guessed TDL for this.
Oh my God.
I haven't looked yet, John. I said a 28 year. You said a 22 year, and Hampden was your backup guess for this. Number 6. Let's take a look. What?
I can't believe it.
What?
I cannot believe it. I'm honestly like, my gabbers are flaccid.
A 37-year Caroni from 1989?
Wow.
I have to taste this again. This was distilled 1 year after I was born, John. And this is a column still. Wow.
I just drank it out of the bottle again. There's nothing here that I would have thought, oh, Caroni. Nothing. Does it give Trinidad? Yes, as we both noted.
I have never been more convinced that TDL is using those Caroni casks, baby. Like,
yes. That's nuts to me.
Wow.
And it's a very, very good rum.
Is this where TDL is getting all their passion fruit leather? Is just from old Caroni casks?
Maybe so. Maybe so. Now we need to know definitively. We need to try a TDL product that we know definitively doesn't have any of that in the blend.
How can you know?
Well, let's call them.
They're so cagey about it. We've talked to them before.
Let's go to the distillery, Will. Let's knock on their door and confront them in a combative way.
Wow. I cannot believe that's a Caroni. I've never had a Caroni like this.
No. Yeah, it's my favorite Caroni.
There's zero of the burning rubber or anything. Stop drinking it out of the bottle.
Crap.
What are you doing? Pour it in the glass.
It's so good.
Okay, let's look at all the notes. Distilled
Number
March
6,
1991 in Trinidad and filled into wood July 1991.
God. I was in middle school in 1991.
Decanted into tank December 1998 and shipped to the Netherlands and stored in stainless steel / wooden vats.
Wow.
Filled into IBC and delivered
yeah.
to Liverpool and refilled into wood March 2002.
Wow.
So I'm struggling to interpret from that
Yeah,
how much
it's
time it was in
convoluted.
wood.
Right.
But if we go here, it says 37 years in wood and 8 years of tropical aging. And it's ex-rum cask / American oak. So I'm guessing when it was refilled into wood in Liverpool, they did an ex-rum cask.
Wow.
Gosh,
I'm really surprised by this one.
I am shocked that is a Caroni.
Yeah.
But
That's...
again, never been more convinced that Trinidad Distillers Limited used a lot of Caroni casks in some of those blends.
I mean, I think with this evidence, they have to be, and to what extent, we'll not know, but yeah, I completely agree. And by the way, this is a really good rum on its own, right? This Caroni. So me as the classic Caroni hater, I'm going to have to eat my words or drink them because that is a really good rum.
Okay, next up. Don't look ahead this time, John. Don't look at my screen. Rum number
It's hard
2.
not to.
Rum number 2 was next. This was the one that we both thought was Hampden right away.
Yeah.
You said Hampden, not high ester, maybe HLCF. Older rum, aged in UK mostly, but not all, ex-bourbon. 30 years is what you guessed. I said blend with Hampden DDL and a third component, maybe Barbados or TDL, ex-bourbon, 32 years. And let's see, this is number 2. So this is Hampden and Long Pond.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All pot still, all molasses. Oh,
Way younger, 19 year.
1983, but only 19 years in wood.
Yeah.
What the hell are the notes on this?
Oh, and did you see that cask? Ex-rum cask.
Ex-rum cask. Yeah, you said a worn down cask.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Oh, I have to get the backstory of this. So, blend of pot still rums from an undisclosed distillery, parentheses Hampden. So, a disclosed, undisclosed distillery.
Yeah.
And Long Pond Distillery. Previous year's maturation cycle not available.
Oh, so there's a mystery here. Yeah.
Shipped to the UK in 2005. Okay, refilled in 2007. Distillery marks would have included DOK, HGML, CDH, DH, and HLCF from Hampden.
Got it.
What is CDH? Oh, C Diamond H. Okay,
Yeah,
C
C
Diamond
Diamond
H
H.
and Diamond
Right.
H
Right.
and HLCF from Hampden, and LPS and STC Heart E from Long Pond. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, it does say percentages of components unknown.
Dude, this has to be so old though, because
Yeah. Well,
it says
1983.
vintage 1983, but it says 19 years in wood.
Yeah.
But they admit that previous year's maturation cycle not available. So we don't know exactly when it went into wood, but we know it's distilled in 1983, which would mean this could be a 40-plus-year-old rum.
Yeah.
And there are some serious heavy hitting high ester marks in here. DOK, HGML, both of the Diamond H's.
Yeah.
Like the rum fire mark is the lowest ester Hampden mark in there.
I told you there was some freaking esters on that, but I never even thought about it being a blend of marks, right? Which is stupid of me. But
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Wow, we didn't get the Long Pond component at all.
No, I didn't.
All Jamaican. See, I don't have a lot of experience tasting Jamaicans that are that old,
Right.
and so whatever transformation it went under after a certain point, to me, I was just like, there's got to be Guyana or something in here.
Yeah, it's interesting that we were interpreting that as Guyana for a lot of these. Was that like really rich kind of backbone or undercurrent as Guyana? It feels like what Guyana is able to do is produce that with less years, right? Whereas some of these, maybe the longer they age, they get into that same territory.
All right, we've got 3 more. Rum number 5 is next. This was the 48.9%. John, you said Trinidad, maybe a cognac cask, TDL 25-year. I guess this was a blend too, a Long Pond and Guyana 27-year, more tropical aging than previous, but still mostly in Europe. All right, let's see. Number 5, Various.
What
Okay,
does that mean?
This says Various BB, JM,
Rum GM.
GY. So BB, I would guess, is Barbados.
You think?
JM, I would guess, is Rum GM of
think.
Martinique. And GY has to be Guyana, right?
Guyana, I would think. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else we have. We have pot still, various
Okay.
vintages, 36 years in wood.
Right.
Not applicable for tropical aging. We were saying it had more tropical aging.
Holy shit.
Ex-rum. Okay, let's go to the notes for this. Number 5. A blend of 100% pot still rums from Barbados, Guyana,
right.
and Jamaica.
Yeah.
AYS of the blend is December 1990, though also
Average
contains...
year, something like that?
Yeah, average years of the blend is 1990, though also contains rum from 1982, 1983, 1986, and 1989.
Golly.
Actuals can only be disclosed when purchased.
Oh.
What are you trying to do to us, Maine Rum? Oh.
They know
okay.
their business.
So let's go back to the predictions. You had said Trinidad for that one. I said Long Pond and Guyana.
Wow.
So I got
couldn't have
Jamaica
been
and
more
Guyana.
wrong.
I don't know if it's Long Pond or not. I said 27. I don't even know how to guess the age of this. I mean, there's rums in there from 82,
Yeah.
but average
minimum
age 1990.
aging. Right, is 36, the minimum aging, I would assume, right?
Yeah, 36 years in wood, and we guessed 25 and 27. Wow. Okay.
It's interesting because, like looking back at it now and having seen this, it's like, oh, of course they're going to give us everything that's over 30. But some part of me felt like it was like between 20 and 30. I don't know why I would make that assumption. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that I finally, my blend guess was right.
Yeah, you got
it just
pretty
took
close
me a few
with
to
that.
get to it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
I got
yeah.
2 of the 3 countries.
You did.
So.
You did. Wait,
Okay.
we said it's Barbados, right? Can we assume where that's coming from?
Well, I don't know if we can. No, we can't. Because,
can't.
I mean, it's at least 36 years old.
Right. Guyana,
Was
we can
Foursquare even distilling 36 years ago? I don't think so.
If they were just starting. So you're probably right. It's probably Word or Mount Gay. Yeah, that's interesting.
I think Foursquare, I think, started distilling in the late 90s.
Right. Right.
Which, so it can't be Foursquare.
It can't be
So I would
Foursquare.
guess it's either Word or Mount Gay.
I'm gonna guess it's Mount Gay. I just because that feels right to me.
Yeah.
And the JM is Jamaica, not Rum
Jamaica,
GM.
not Rum
Yeah.
GM. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, yeah.
All pot still,
All pot still.
so we can do a little inference there. Wow, that is really interesting. This would have been the toughest to get, right? And you did actually a really good job because you got the 2 out of the 3 components with it. I can't remember if you even said Barbados. You did say that for one of them. So
I think I said that for the
good
previous
call
one.
there. This one feels okay. This one feels like the most convoluted in terms of how the hell were we even gonna get to this? But yeah, good call on it being a blend. It is really good.
It tastes like a great Navy rum.
Yeah.
All right. We got 2 left. We had strong convictions about these. So number 3, 56.7%. You said Guyana Enmore, 18 years. I said Guyana PM, 21 years. And number 3, hey, DDL, iFlot.
Yay!
PM. Yeah.
Hey! Good job. Good job.
We were way off on the age, though. It's 37 years in wood. This is a 1989 vintage. What?
Yeah.
Ex-malt whiskey?
Ex-malt whiskey again.
/
Mixed
mixed
oak,
oak.
is what it says. Mixed
Okay,
oak. Who knows
let's
what that
go to
means,
the
but-
details. Number 3, distilled October 1989 in Guyana and shipped to the UK as fresh rum and filled into wood ex-bourbon.
Ex-bourbon.
Refilled into Scotch malt whiskey casks October 2001.
2001.
So this had basically no tropical aging.
Right.
1989, it's received in the UK and filled into ex-bourbon. And then over 10 years later, in October 2001, refilled into Scotch malt whiskey casks. Wow.
This is a pretty cool one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're all pretty cool, actually. These are all amazingly cool. But yeah, I kind of, now looking back, I can see the iFlot influence. And
What a hell of a PM.
yeah, it really is amazing. It might be my favorite PM so far. Because PM can sometimes really be brute. And in this case, in that expression, it's really, it's been, how should I say this? It's been tamed.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just, but its essence is still there.
Right. It's domesticated, but it's like, at any moment, it could fuck you up.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
really good. Okay.
We've
All
got
right.
one left, John.
Last one,
This is
last one.
Number 1,
We
which
both
we were
felt-
both convinced was Caroni.
Yeah.
You said 28 to 29 year. I said 26 year. Let's see.
I'm dying to get more on this.
It's a Clarendon?
No way. No way. Wait, there has to be something different here. There has to be something different.
The MMW Clarendon Money Musk Mark, a pot still, 1984, 42 years
42.
in wood and 34 tropical.
Years tropical. In an ex-rum cask? It just doesn't make any sense.
Wait, let's read it.
Okay.
Distilled December 6th, 1984. Or is that June 12th, 1984?
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. Filled into cask in Jamaica and aged for 34 years. Then refilled into original casks October 2018 and shipped
What does that mean?
the
Refilled into original casks?
received in 2019 for further maturation and warehouse. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Refilled into original casks.
So they
maybe that just means new casks because it says ex-rum cask / American oak. I don't know.
No, but why would they say original cat? Like, it has to be like they dumped it and then they put it back in.
I don't know. Yeah. That's kind of what it seems like.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, I gotta fucking taste this one again right now.
There's no way.
Clarendon?
There's no way. I still have some in the glass.
I gotta do it. I'm so grateful we still have so much left in these sample bottles. So I'm gonna be spending some time with these.
I do get Clarendon now. Fuck! Damn it!
Wait, so now do you like it? Do you like it? Because you hated it before.
I still don't like it. And you know what? You were right because you mentioned the florality of Clarendon. This does have a lot of florality. I still don't like it.
I think maybe what we were reading is those Caroni diesel tire fire notes is just the sheer length of 42 years in oak.
Ugh, it's too much. In this case, it's the one that I feel like
very
it's too much.
drying. It's the most palate drying on the finish of all these rums.
It's Orwellian.
Orwellian? What is it, watching you?
1984.
Insert the David Bowie song.
Yeah, I don't like it. To be honest, like I just tried it again.
I still like it.
Good for you. I think you were right that I think maybe I was backwards. I think maybe the Long Pond over the Clarendon because I'm getting a lot, like a bucket of flowers on it now. Like the water that when you put fresh cut flowers into and you like put them in the vase. And then, the 2 weeks go by, and you throw away the flowers and that water that's left in there. That's what this feels like I would be drinking.
Okay, I could see that.
And I don't like it.
To me, this is an example of, like, the extreme edge of oak aging at origin.
Yeah.
And I think if you're someone who doesn't like oak, and I'm not saying that's you, I think this rum's going to be too much oak for you. I don't know.
This is going to be too much oak for like 91% of people.
That's fair. I still like it. It's good. It's not my favorite amongst all the ones that we tried, which we should talk about favorites now. I'm pretty sure what mine is going to be. Okay, so we're going from least to most favorite.
Correct.
With the context that least favorite is still fucking
really
great.
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
this is an amazing flight. Yeah.
What was your least favorite?
No surprise. I'm going to go with number one. This is the
would-be Caroni.
Yeah, but it's not Caroni, right? It was the Clarendon 59. Yeah. So this was sample number one. It was the last one we tried. It was the least enjoyable for me in terms of it being overwooded. It is how now we interpret it. At the time of, it just felt like too drying, too ashtray forward. And for those reasons, like it's not for me.
It is not my. It's not my first.
It's not your least.
Yeah, it's not my least favorite.
Yeah.
My least favorite. I'm going to go with rum number 4, which was the Pampero. Mm-hmm. The 1992 34-year-old Pampero. Amazing rum to be able to try in this context, but it's still, of all of these, and it's funny because it's the first one we started with, but like I was kind of like, I was expecting a little more, you know? It was kind of a tame note to start on, whereas all the other rums, I feel like really left a bigger impression. Having said all that, to be able to try, you know, this rum from I'm not the world's foremost Pampero expert. It's one of those rums that I've seen in stores, and I'm just kind of like, okay, it probably has additives. I'm probably not going to try that. And to get to try it in this context at that age is pretty incredible. And it's really tasty and obviously extremely sessionable at 42.3% ABV. I thought it was a Guyana rum, for God's sake. So it's good.
I'll save you the suspense as we go, and it's my number 2 in this lineup, least favorite. But again, keeping the context of like we really tried. I think if I were to say, by the way, 5 out of 6 of these, I think were really, really great, really fun, and even the one that was in my least favorite, which was that Clarendon, was still a really cool thing to be able to experience. To your point, but my second one here is the Pampero. So we're not far off. I think it's good. I would describe it as maybe 2-dimensional, you know, in the sense of it's got its XY, but there's no Z there. And the XY is really nice, and it's, you know, expansive. It's good. I think this would be the favorite for people who are less experienced in rum. If they were to try all of these somehow, you know, like if this is somebody that's just coming into rum, it's the most familiar, it's the most straightforward, and it's really good. But that said, and especially in this flight, as you mentioned, it's struggling to keep up.
My next one up was your least favorite, which is the Clarendon 42 year.
Okay. All right.
That we mistakenly thought was a Caroni. I still think it's kind of a mind-blowing rum, and especially when you know what it is going in, it's like, wow, I'm tasting kind of the limits of aging for this rum.
Yeah.
And I would love to have the experience of tasting it for the first time, knowing what it is. And I'd love to know if I would still see the Caroni connection or not. So if anyone else is able to try this rum, they'll have to tell us. But yeah, I would put it there. It's an amazing experience, but just compared to all the other rums, there are others that I would just rather consume. That I would certainly never sneeze at this one.
Yep, I'm with you.
I'll go with my next one.
Go.
So this is right in around the middle of the pack for me. And this is rum number 6, which is the actual Caroni, the 45.4% ABV. We both thought this was TDL. We are now convinced, utterly convinced, that TDL has been putting Caroni in maybe more rums than I previously thought. It's a 37 years in wood Caroni, 8 years at origin. So fruity, so few traces, John, of the diesel-y tire fire. I don't know. I can barely even find it in there.
Yeah. The best Caroni I've ever had. Yeah. It's very good, and funny enough, we're syncing up on this one because this is in third for me.
Okay.
So yeah, same thing. All the comments you just said, I would echo, but this to me says, like you said, it speaks of Trinidad rum. It speaks of an identity, really, that I associate with most TDLs, which I was extremely surprised to find that this was a Caroni. So very good. I really enjoyed it. I would absolutely buy a bottle of it.
Okay. This was kind of the line of demarcation, John, for me, where the rums on the other side of this are on a whole nother level to me. I mean, I liked all of these rums and really rated them highly, but we move into another echelon here.
Okay.
And
tier.
It was very hard for me to distinguish between what was going to be my third most favorite and my second most favorite. My first one, my number one, was clear to me, but what did you end up having for your third most? Because we have the same 3 rums that we're left with. So what is your third most favorite?
Like you, I struggled a little bit, but I think I'm still. I'm thinking I have one tier with the 2 first rums we described, and then maybe a middle tier with the Caroni and this one, and then a top tier with the other 2.
Okay.
So imagine split into 3 equal parts here. And that might change as we, continue to kind of go through the rest of the samples that we have. Right now, that's where I'm at, and it is the number 5 sample, which we had as a blend, the Barbados, Jamaica, Guyana.
Yep.
The pot still 36 year, the number 5 sample at 48.9. Really, really good, and it speaks to the power of different origins and how you can blend those in a way to make a rum that is more than the sum of its parts, which we've talked about many times. It's very, very good. And the only reason it's here is because I think I slightly enjoyed the others a little bit more, but it's really good.
I had the same one.
Yeah?
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see with the same top 3, but yeah, I love this one. I think if you want to do a Navy blend, buy this cask and put it out. It's
Yep.
awesome. Like John said, Barbados, Jamaica, Guyana, at least 36 years in wood. It's just a really well executed blend.
Yeah, the only problem there, Will, is it's at 48.9, so you can't get to Navy strength.
Hey, that shouldn't be okay. Yeah, well,
Yeah?
I kind of see that from a sales perspective of you can't say it'd be a stretch to call it a Navy rum because it's not Navy strength. So, but if you're just analyzing this cask on the merits, like,
agreed,
the quality is so high. It's amazing, and I'm hoping that somebody buys it because this was the one that had the asterisk, like actuals can only be disclosed when purchased. So I'm curious to see like all of the breakdown of this one, but we do know it's Barbados, Jamaica, Guyana, all pot still.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll call it a Coast Guard rum. Marine. No, that's terrible. We can't do that. I was trying to think of something other than Navy, but no, it's not coming to mind.
Okay. Okay, I get it now. Okay, yeah, I don't know if it's going to help the sales.
No, it's not. No.
Okay, I'll go with
terrible
my...
idea.
Do we want to just say our number 2 at the same time to see if we have the same number 1?
Yeah. Yeah, because by process of deduction. So let's do it. All
Okay.
right, what's in your number 2 slot?
It's the number 3 rum, which is the DDL PM.
Same here. So we did lock in for the last 3.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, one of the best PMs I've ever had, and really interesting considering it had the ex-Scotch malt whiskey cask aging since 2001, and this is a 37-year-old rum distilled in 1989. This is a true IFLOT PM.
Amazing. So that leaves the last one, which was in first place, and we do this, Will. These are 6 rums, and I would say, to me, 5 out of 6 were incredible and amazing,
When I was reflecting on which is my favorite, which do I think is the best, it was immediately, no question, it is rum number 2, which is that Hampden Long Pond blend, 1983. We don't have all the aging details on this one.
Yeah.
But I thought this was a blend with... We got the Hampden part right, but I thought there was maybe some Guyana coming in there. I think it was the combination of the long age, the long pond factor. I mean, there's some high ester marks in this, John. DOK, HGML, C Diamond H, Diamond H. To me, it still doesn't read that high ester. Maybe a little bit on the nose. But there's so many factors that are like kind of reining that in and just making it this incredibly beautiful expression. It's one of the best rums I have ever had in my life.
I'm right there with you, man. I think I put number 3 and number 2, my second place and my first place, a little closer than you have, based on what you're saying. I think those two are both like, God, I'm just thankful that I even had an opportunity to try these. But I think to your point, yes, they're both pulling off the same trick to me. My second favorite and my first favorite, this one that we're talking about, the Hampden and the Long Pond. They take these things that feel sometimes less tameable or less able to be tamed, which we as rum enthusiasts often prize, right? We're like, wow, it's unrestrained. It's amazing to try this component that is just super interesting for us who are geeks about this type of thing. But when you find a way to mold it into what this is in both cases to me, where you have something that has been done to it to better frame it, is what I would say. It's
transformed.
It's transformed. It's Nike in the Louvre, right? Nike on its own, the statue is what I'm talking about, right? That's the one with the wings on it, but it doesn't have the head or the arms. You've probably seen it. When you see that like on its own, and I never have, obviously, but I'm just imagining, if I saw that somewhere in a field, I would say, wow, that is stunning. But when you put it curated into the Louvre the way that they've chosen to do it, it becomes transformed into something that is even more impressive. And I think that's what's been done here with this rum is, funny enough, it's a two-origin blend, right, Will? So
two origin within the same country, yeah.
Within the same country, but still two origin. Yeah. Yeah, okay, fair. But my point here is it's like coming from two different places that it is taken everything about it and just stepped on it in such a way that creates this really close to perfection type of thing. So for me, this is we both ranked it number one, a transformative rum experience.
I can't say it any better than that. I think this, these rums were kind of hyped up to us, and I would say they more than delivered on the hype. I'm blown away at the quality of these rums, and not only the quality, but also it's that instance of both the quality and the rarity of them are aligning to where we tasted things that just independent of the flavor profile are special just in what they are, right? Just to be able to taste something that's from that long ago, from these places. But then when the taste matches up with that, it's just like there's nothing better, So an amazing exercise, at the risk of sounding like we're like literally shilling for Maine Rum Company. We're not trying to do that, but like I hope that these casks get purchased and end up, being able to be experienced by people in a similar state as we experience them. But what a fun exercise.
Yeah.
We missed on a lot of stuff. We got some stuff right, but wow, yeah, just incredible. So this was really fun to do. We've been waiting to do this forever. And hopefully it was fun to listen to. I wish that we could share these with everyone, but
I wish too. I was going to say that would be my one wish, to say that, the people out there that are listening to this 2+ hours later, I do wish we could share that. And hopefully, like you said, Will, Maine Rum's not stupid. They know that, they're giving us rums that hopefully will be able to be out there on the market for those lucky people that would buy these, one of, whatever it is, 200 bottles or whatever it is. And, and that is, I'm thankful, Will, that we have had this experience, that we've been able to do this in a way to help the rum community in certain ways, but also just to, selfishly, like, man, we've been able to taste these rums that are awesome, and I hope that they find their way into other people's mouths just as well soon, in some way, shape, or form, right? Hopefully in the purest form. But yeah, like you said, just a fun thing to be able to do. I'm glad we finally got to it. It definitely was a little bit of an odyssey, you might say, to get there to these. And so grateful that we had the experience.
Tasting these was like a 70mm IMAX experience in terms of flavor. But this is normally where I'd say, hey, if you've had any of these rums, tell us what you think of them. Send us an email at host@rumcast.com or hit us up on social media. I don't think anyone listening has had these rums before, but if you just have any takeaways or any questions or anything like that, send us an email, host@rumcast.com, or you can find us on social media. John, where can they find us?
At the Rumcast, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. We love to continue to post things and make sure that we're keeping you all engaged with what we're doing. And, fun shit like this, like even just posting the box on this one, honestly, Will, I was thinking about it would be fun because it's such a tease. But
Go for it.
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll keep people, in the rum community engaged. There's plenty of really good people producing rum content now. That's awesome. We just want to be one of those vectors, right? And do what we can to continue to put forward rum as a spirit category with the amount of respect on its name that it deserves. Right, Will?
That's right. And hey, come see us at Boston Rum Week.
Yeah.
September 19th. Come see us live Rumcast podcast. Get your tickets, and we'll see you there. But, John, until next time, cheers.
Cheers.